Welcome to Midnight Tales. Here you will discover new stories, profound lessons, and fantastic adventures. Remember to support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell. Now, make yourself comfortable, close your eyes. Let's begin the journey. Chapter 5. The evening wind caressed the sails like a patient hand, and the Eos glided silently across the dark waters. The sky, now deep purple, seemed to hold its breath. Nikos sat at the bow, legs crossed, eyes half closed. The sea, with its slow and steady rhythm, rocked him as if it were a giant heart beating beneath him. Filón, not far away, was watching the waves. "Can you feel it too?" he whispered. "What?" asked Nikos without opening his eyes. "As if everything were changing, as if we were entering another part of the world." Nikos nodded slowly. There was something in the air, a subtle vibration, like a sound that cannot be heard, but only sensed. Just then, a wave taller than the others rose in front of the boat, not threatening, but slow, almost solemn. Inside it, for a few moments, the reflection of a creature could be glimpsed. Large golden eyes, a long luminous tail, and the feeling, more than the certainty, of being watched. The creature disappeared immediately afterwards, leaving only a ripple on the surface. "Did you see?" whispered Filón. "Yes, and it wasn't an illusion." They continued sailing in silence, their hands clenched on the edge of the ship as a light mist began to rise. It wasn't the usual sea fog. This one had a pearly color, as if it contained tiny fragments of the moon. Nikos, intrigued and a little uneasy, clutched his wooden amulet. "We're close to something, Filón. I can feel it in my gut." It was then that a dark, enormous shape appeared beyond the mist. First a shadow, then a more precise outline. It looked like an island, but too big, too tall, and too bright at the top, as if it held an ancient secret. The Eos slowed down on its own, as if the sea itself were inviting it to proceed with respect. The clouds parted for a moment, and a ray of sunset struck the tip of the island, revealing a green glow for a moment. An immense forest, perhaps the largest they had ever seen. Filón held his breath. "It's gigantic, and it seems alive," added Nikos, because from that dark mass came distant sounds, deep roars, melodious songs, rustles louder than the wind, as if nature breathed more strongly there. But the distance was still great, and the sea that night seemed to want to slow their journey. A gentle but strong current prevented the ship from approaching. "Tomorrow," said Filón with a calm smile, "tomorrow we'll know what it is." Nikos nodded as he watched the outline of the island slowly dissolve into the mist. They hadn't reached it. Not yet, but they had finally seen it. And it was much bigger, more mysterious, and more alive than they had imagined. Chapter 6. The following morning did not begin like the others. The sea was calm, yes, but not in the usual soft and regular way. It seemed rather attentive. Each wave arrived with the slowness of a held breath, as if the whole world were waiting for something. Nikos woke up first. Filón was still asleep, his beard ruffled by the light breeze. The boy climbed onto the deck and stood still, letting the silence of the sea fill his ears. To the east, the light of dawn mingled with the deep blue of the ocean, creating a bright strip that looked like a path. And that's when he saw it. A distant silhouette, just a shadow. But it wasn't a ship. It wasn't an island either. It had a shape that the boy couldn't define, wide then narrow, then wide again, as if it were swaying just below the surface. "Grandfather," he called softly. Zephyros, on the ropes, fluttered his wings nervously. Filón rose calmly, yawning, without losing his composure. "Can you see it too?" whispered Nikos, pointing to the horizon. His grandfather squinted, then nodded slowly. "Ah, there it is. The guardian of the horizon." "The what?" "Not an animal, not quite an island. Something that exists only between one route and another. It only shows itself to travelers who are about to cross a threshold." The silhouette approached very slowly, with movements slower than the sea itself. And as it entered the morning light, its nature became clearer. It was a colossal creature, a huge manta ray as big as a hill, with wings that moved with an elegance impossible for such a vast body. Its skin seemed to be made of liquid light, blue, golden, iridescent like the sea at dawn. Every movement created a glow that danced on the water, and despite its immensity, everything about it was calm. Zephyros, usually lively, stood still, watching it with respect. "It's beautiful," murmured Nikos. "And wise," added Filón. "Legends say it protects forgotten roots, and that it shows the way only to those with an attentive heart." The creature came closer, but without threat. The waves rose gently, softly as she passed. When she was a few meters from the ship, she stopped. She raised one of her giant wings as if to wave. Then, something unexpected happened. A light came out of her skin. It wasn't dazzling or intense. It was a soft glow, like the light of fireflies at dusk. That light spread out like a fan and slowly traced a line on the water, a direction, towards the mysterious island. "Is it showing us the way?" asked Nikos. "Or perhaps," replied Filón with a slight smile, "it's asking if we're ready to follow it." The wind changed. The sails filled gently. The ship began to move exactly along the luminous path. The colossal manta ray dived just below the surface, remaining visible as a shining form guiding the course. Not fast, not slow. The perfect pace for those who wish to learn. For hours they traveled like this, accompanied by that ancient guardian. The daylight reflected off its wings, creating visual effects that seemed to tell forgotten stories. At one point, the creature stopped. It slowly rose to the surface, revealing its large, flat head. And there, in one immense eye, Nikos had the impression of seeing something. Not an image, not a memory, but a feeling. "Welcome, young traveler." Then the manta turned and disappeared into the depths, leaving behind only trails of light that gradually faded away. The ship remained suspended over the calm sea, and in front of them, finally visible, the shadow of an island emerged, still distant, still mysterious, but real. "We're almost there," said Filón. "The threshold is now open." Nikos felt his heart skip a beat, not out of fear, out of wonder, out of anticipation. Their adventure was entering a new dimension, and the sea once again seemed to smile. If you like, I can continue straight on to Chapter 7, where the vision of the island becomes clearer and a new encounter, not entirely friendly, awaits Nikos and Filón. Chapter 7. The next morning, the sea seemed to be holding its breath. The great column of light seen the day before had disappeared, replaced by a stretch of still water and a white, velvety fog so thick it almost looked like a curtain. Nikos woke up slowly, as if his mind had to pass through several layers of stillness before returning to the world. He opened his eyes and saw the fog enveloping the ship, soft as wool. "Grandfather, are we still close to the island?" he asked, his voice thick with sleep. Filón looked at the horizon, then closed his eyes to listen. His face looked even older, drawn by the silence of the morning. "We're close, but the fog wants to test us," he murmured. "It's the fog of whispers. The ancients spoke of it. They said it only appears when someone is about to discover a forgotten place." Nikos sat up, curious but not afraid. The fog wasn't cold. On the contrary, it felt warm, almost protective. And above all, it seemed to speak. In its soft rustling, small phrases could be heard, like faint memories. "Can you hear it too?" asked Nikos, holding his breath. Filón nodded. "They are memories of the sea. Sometimes the fog keeps them safe, and only gives them back to travelers who listen." For a few minutes they stood still, letting those murmurs pass by them, like leaves blown by a gentle wind. Every step towards the unknown brings new light. The right path is not always the clearest. Remember what you have learned, but do not fear what you do not know. Simple, ancient words that slipped into the soul like calm water. Then, slowly, the ship began to move on its own. It was not pushed by the wind, which was absent, nor by the waves, which were as flat as a sheet of glass. It was as if an invisible current, a gentle hand, was guiding it forward. "Is it safe to go like this?" asked Nikos, seeking his grandfather's eyes. "Yes," replied Filón without hesitation. "When the fog wants to deceive you, it confuses you. When it wants to guide you, it takes you where you need to go. And today, it seems favorable." Nikos approached the edge of the ship. The fog opened up in front of them, forming a wide, bright corridor. And then something unexpected happened. A deep sound emerged from the silence, like the distant song of an immense animal. It was not threatening, not angry. It was a slow melody, drawn out in long notes that made the air and water vibrate. Filón stiffened, but not out of fear. "It's the thalasson," he whispered, "a creature so rare that it's almost a myth." A shape appeared out of the fog, first the shadow, then the movement. A huge silhouette gliding beneath the surface. An eye as big as a lantern opened for a moment beneath the ship, observing them with a calm and ancient curiosity. Nikos was breathless. He had never seen anything so big nor so sweet. The song of the thalasson enveloped them, making the ship vibrate as if it were part of the melody. And in that instant, the fog lit up, tinged with a soft blue. The whispers became clearer, more harmonious, as if the creature itself were speaking through them. Then, just when it seemed very close, the thalasson slipped back into the depths, leaving behind a trail of light that remained suspended for several minutes, like a luminous path. "It's showing us the way," said Filón admiringly. "That hasn't happened in generations." The ship followed that trail, passing through the fog that was now gently clearing, dissolving like a dream upon awakening. And when the last veil opened, the unknown island appeared before them, distant but finally clear. Immense, wild, as old as the world. Nikos held his breath, his heart beating slowly but strongly. The adventure was really about to change, and the night that was coming promised even deeper dreams. Chapter 8. The island's light sand crunched under Nikos's feet as he walked alongside Filón. The air smelled different from anywhere else they had visited. A mixture of wild pine, huge flowers, and fresh water hidden somewhere in the forest. Each step seemed to bring forgotten secrets back to life. This island, it insects watching me," Nikos murmured. Filón smiled under his gray mustache. "Or maybe you're just learning to listen." They walked along a natural path lined with ferns as tall as they were. The leaves trembled slightly, even though there was no wind. The animals of the new land did not show themselves, but they were present. Small rustles, a shadow jumping between two boulders, a distant call that sounded almost like a giant conch shell. Then suddenly they saw it. A huge creature emerged from the shallow waters near the shore. It was not threatening but majestic. The body of a large sea boar, its skin shiny like wet silver, and two deep blue eyes that seemed to contain the calm of the sea itself. Around its neck it wore something that looked like an ancient collar of polished stone, marked with spiraling symbols. Nikos took a step back, but Filón placed a hand on his shoulder. "Look closely. It doesn't want to hurt us." The creature advanced slowly, raising tiny waves with each movement. Then it stopped in front of them and bowed its head as if to greet them. A warm, moist, almost affectionate breath came out of its nostrils. Nikos plucked up his courage and raised a hand, letting the creature sniff his palm. When it did, the symbols on the collar glowed slightly, as if responding to an ancient call. "It's a Thalassodoros, a guardian of the waters," Filón explained in a low voice, almost reverently. "The ancient sailors said it only appeared to those who brought peace to the seas." The Thalassodoros made a deep, harmonious sound and returned to the water. Before disappearing into the waves, it raised its head and pointed slowly in the direction of the forest. "Does it want us to go there?" asked Nikos. "Perhaps it wants to show us something, or someone," replied Filón. The sun was setting, bathing everything in gold and orange. Nikos felt that the island was really beginning to speak to them, and the journey, once again, was turning into something greater than he had imagined. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed it and would like to hear more, please like and subscribe to the channel. Now, take a deep breath and relax. Good night.